Hello, my name is Anthony D'Angelo, and I've got a proposal to make. So let's say I'm building a house, so I buy 5 drills to get the job done really quickly. But then I realize, oh wait, I can only use 1 drill at a time. This doesn't make any sense. So I hire 10 people to help me with a job. But then they get there and there's only 5 drills for them to use, so there's 5 people just sitting around doing nothing the whole time, and I'm paying them, and it doesn't make any sense, right? That whole scenario is an example of the law of diminishing returns. It says you can't increase one factor of production without also increasing the others. If there's like a bunch of people and no drills, or a bunch of drills and no people, then that's super inefficient and dumb, and it makes sense, right? It's obvious. What I've observed is that the law of diminishing returns also applies to YouTube engagement. After a certain point, as you keep loading on subscribers and comments, a creator will get inundated to the point where they can't effectively communicate with their audience anymore. Just like one worker can handle 1 drill, one creator can only handle so much YouTube engagement. So my proposition is that we call this phenomenon the Turner effect. I want to name it after Toby Turner, Tobuscus. He's a guy who's on the top 50 list like twice. Basically, one time he tweeted out to his fans that they should all meet him in Hyde Park in London to have a little meetup. And what happened is that hundreds and hundreds of people showed up, way more than he could handle, and it turned into an angry mob, and it became dangerous, and like ambulances were called, and he had to flee for his safety. And that's like a dramatic but very real example of what happens to a lot of creators. They lose the ability to interact with their audiences in the kinds of really meaningful, personal ways that we tend to think that YouTube is there to facilitate. In my mind, there's 2 YouTubes. There's YouTube the social network, which allows me to do like the media identity tag and have the cool kinds of conversations and friend making that I, like the most. And also there's YouTube the distribution platform, the one that's just there to get your work in front of a bunch of people. And I've been thinking so much about these 2 worlds and how they like gradiate into each other, or whether there's like an identifiable point where you can say I've like crossed over from one domain to the other. And like the big question, like, is one better than the other? And I don't really think so. Like, I think that we're all provided the same tools, and like the ways that we choose to use them are our own. Like, I just think what it gets down to is like, if you are very conscious of the way that you're using a platform, if you know I'm here to make friends, or I'm here to educate, or get famous, or whatever it may be, as long as you're conscious of it, as long as you know that like your content is probably gonna have to change based on what domain you're in, then that's good. Being informed producers, that's great. I want to look at this more. I want to do some science about this like interaction and how it gets better or worse with more or less engagement. So I've got a survey that you can do if you're a YouTube creator. If you've seen how poorly connectivity scales, or if you think I'm totally off on this one, then I'd love to hear your perspective on it. So yeah, I encourage you to totally do that. So yeah, in conclusion, the Turner effect is the way that the law of diminishing returns applies to YouTube engagement. And that's that. So, yeah, check out the links and do the things. Bye.